What up? Continue to analyze a little bit about the kind of reanalyze the Barbara Walters 2020 interview with John and Patsy Ramsey, talking about this JonBenet Ramsey case, a little girl who was killed in 1996. Still a mystery today. Still a cold case. Still has not been solved. Some of the updates have shown that I think they're trying to retest the DNA. I think Chief Redfern, I think is his name, in Colorado. Boulder, now the chief of police at Boulder, Colorado Police Department. I think he said that they're trying to now interview some of the people that they've interviewed before, just trying to get some more information. This case is really cold. Unless DNA comes up with something, I don't see how we're going to get anywhere. Hopefully, with new testing technology, we can get a little bit closer to what we're looking for. So without further ado, let's continue to reanalyze and assess based off of what we know here.
The police stayed with you all that day and the following day. You felt that you were under their protection because you didn't know where this killer might have been. But it turns out that they were really scrutinizing the two of you, that you were already suspects. Did you have any idea then that you were suspects?
No,
Not
at all.
It was reported also, Mr. Ramsey, that shortly after you...
They did. That's a lie. They did. That's why they had, I'm sorry. That's why they had Mike Bynum over there, who is a lawyer, if you're not familiar.
Found your daughter's body, that you called the pilot of your plane to arrange a flight to Atlanta. Is that true?
I did. We had been asked to leave the house. Within minutes of that happening, the police took the house over. We had nowhere to go. Atlanta was our home. We lived in Atlanta for 25 years. That's where our family was. We wanted to go home.
During the day that your child was found, and in the days following, Mr. Ramsey, there were reports from the police that you didn't seem distraught. You weren't sobbing. You seemed stoic. It was said you two rarely talked to each other. To them, this made it look as if you were guilty.
I've heard that, and I find that unbelievable. I've lost two children, and for someone to tell me that I didn't act right, I don't accept.
There is the impression that from day one, the two of you refused to cooperate with the police.
No, that is a media myth. We met with the police on the 26th. We met
Talked with them
for hours on the 27th. When they asked us to come to the police station, we said, yeah, we want to keep working with you, but can't you come here? We can't go out. Patsy was in bed. Patsy was barely able to move. And all we asked was they come here. They said, well, no, we have paperwork at the police station we might need to get a hold of.
Okay. On the 27th, a very good friend of yours, Mike Bynum, said to you, I think that you should hire...
Why didn't you go to the police station and sit and talk? See, you just told on yourself. They asked you if we could get, because you said, hey, see, thank you for confirming. Because John continues to tell people, oh, I cooperated and whatever, blah, blah, blah. No, you didn't. Why is this on my desk? No, you didn't. You did not continue to cooperate. You want to know how I know? Because you just told me they asked you to come down to the police station. You refused by saying, you know what? I can't even get out of bed. Can you come here? What? All right. I need you to explain that to me. The police say, hey, if you can get us more information, we have paperwork down here that we need you to fill out. Can you come down to the police station? More of this stuff on how John and Patsy wanted to deal with this case on their terms. You were already lawyered up with Bynum. I mean, my God. And obviously, as we know, they went up there with Bynum by their side just to give, hair and blood and nail samples or something like that. We know that's all you did. You didn't talk with them for hours on the 27th. You probably argued with them for hours on the 27th about getting JonBenet's body. That's what you did. According to Bynum, you guys walked in, somebody came to you, one of the people in the police station. I don't know who this person is, who the heck this person is that keeps being a rat in the police station. And I'm not sure why they're doing this. Nobody's asked them to step outside. So apparently there is a rat in the Boulder Police Department at this time for some strange and odd reason, who is both at the scene of the crime and who is now at the freaking police station, calling Mike Bynum and saying, hey, you better get here. Something's going on. What the freak are you doing? What are you doing? And then somehow, some way, when you guys show up to the police station and the police can't even do their job, because somebody comes out and says, oh, by the way, before you guys go in and give hair and blood, you might have a problem. And what are you doing? Why are you out here? Let the police do their job without you interfering and getting in the way and trying to pre-warn people. Oh, you guys, they might ask you, they might say that they want to keep the body and they said that they want to keep the body to ask you guys more questions. Okay, and is that a problem? It would only be a problem if you guys didn't want to answer questions. What are you doing?
Lawyers.
Mike knew things that were going on that we didn't know. He knew that the police by that time were withholding JonBenet's body for burial. He also,
So did you. It happened at the same time.
based on his experience as a prosecutor and as a district attorney, could see that the police were very quickly focusing on us as the killers.
Your lawyers advised you then not to submit to police questions. Why not? People say, wouldn't you have wanted to tell them everything?
Well, I don't recall that our lawyers told us that at the time. We were perfectly willing and anxious to work with the police to find the killer. We had a higher priority at that point, and that was to bury our daughter.
But it would, in fact, be 4 months before the Ramseys would sit down with detectives for formal interrogation. There was a mutual distrust between the Boulder Police Department and the Ramsey family.
I want to ask you something. Maybe you can help me. Is the higher priority to bury your daughter or to let all the time in the world pass before you even think about catching the killer? I'm confused. What's the priority here? What do you think? What do you think is happening? Do you think that you have all the time in the world to catch this guy before the case goes cold? Is that what we think? The heck are you doing? Higher priority according to who? This is why I'm struggling with. I'm struggling with the mindset of John right now. I just got mad. I don't know. Like I didn't expect to be mad. I'm struggling with the mindset and the delusion of John telling us that the higher priority, aside from finding the monster who did this, would be to bury her. Why? Why is that the priority? Instead of getting the investigation on the ball, why and getting closer to find this person who could be anywhere, why are we worried about formalities like be nice to me, you didn't smile at me enough, you didn't shake my hand, you didn't hug me enough, I just didn't like the way you walked in my house, I just don't like the way you guys opened the door, I just don't like the way how many questions you guys asked me, I don't like that you guys asked me for handwriting samples, I don't like that you guys are watching me. Anything for JonBenet. Anything that we could, whatever you want, whatever you need, take it. Whatever. Can we help? Can we ask a question? And you're telling me that the priority is burying JonBenet? We're going to get to that. We're going to do that. Absolutely. But I don't understand while you're more focused on burying her rather than answering police questions. Because all right, I don't recall my lawyers telling me that, we can't speak to the police, or we don't need to speak to the police, or not to speak to the police. I don't recall that. Then why didn't you do it? Okay, fine. The higher priority, and this is what I'm saying. You're talking out of both sides of your mouth. The higher priority is to bury JonBenet. Fine. Even, that's what I'm saying. We criticize the Boulder Police Department, but they let a lot of stuff go in the interest of trying to help these people. Even at that, when JonBenet, her burial is the high priority, you buried her. Get your butt back to Colorado. Freaking camping out in Atlanta, going on CNN. What the heck are you doing? Get back to Colorado so we can solve this case. What are you doing? And then get back to Colorado. Don't talk to the police. You camp out and hide for another freaking 4 months. Susan Stein blocking people, blocking the cops. What are you doing? Why are you here? We don't want to talk. High priority. That is out of the way. Now what's your excuse to not come down to the police station and talk to us? You wait freaking 4 months. Man, stop playing games.
Why didn't you take a lie detector test?
No one
That's
ever
another-
asked us
Really?
to take a lie detector test.
Police never asked you to take a lie detector
No.
test?
No.
I was asked during my interview with Steve Thomas a hypothetical
the
questions.
policemen,
One of the policemen that investigated this murder. He said, if I were to ask you to take a lie detector test, what would you say? I said, I would be offended. That's what I would say. I wasn't interested in proving my innocence at that point. That
We were
was
frightened.
a non-issue.
There's a murderer loose.
Mr. Ramsey, would you now take a lie detector
I
test?
would, sir.
That is the fakest response.
To take a lie detector test, what would you say? I said, I would be offended.
Why? That's not the fake response, by the way. Why? What is the problem? You're annoying me. What is the freaking problem that we can't get this case solved? I need a stress ball. Where's my stress ball? I need a stress ball. Where is my stress ball? Oh, man. Okay, I'll just use this towel. I am so mad right now. I am so mad right now. Why is it a problem? We started off the interview saying, Patsy, did you murder your child? How do you feel when I ask you that? I'm offended. Why? We're just trying to solve the case. We're trying to help you solve the case. And I can't say anything to you guys. You guys are touchy. I'm offended. John, if I were to ask you, would you take a lie detector test? We do this to everyone. Would you take a lie detector test? Yes or no? How would you feel? I'm offended. I'm not interested in proving my innocence at this point. Do you know how dumb you sound? Do you know how ignorant you sound? We got a killer on the loose, trying to find what happened to your daughter. I'm about to get mad. Trying to find your daughter, and at every turn, you find a reason to say anything. And then you tell me how frightened you were. I don't care. Take the test so we can move on to the next thing. I'm so mad.
That's what I would say. I wasn't interested in proving my innocence at that point. That
We were
was
frightened.
a non-issue.
There's a murderer.
That was fake. That was so fake. It's like, sorry. It's like when someone they exaggerate a point. Like you might ask them, they may have found maybe their food was undercooked, and they called the waiter over, or the waitress over, or the server to say, "Hey, man, this is undercooked." That's all you got to say. "Hey, this is undercooked. Could you take it to the kitchen and have them cook a little bit longer?" And this person is like, instead of saying that and being done with it, they're like, "I can't eat this. You look at this. Do you expect me to eat this? What is this?" And they're looking like, I don't know what I'm supposed to be looking at. And it gets worse. "Do you even care?" And I'm like, "Just tell me what the problem is so I can fix it. I don't want to be here all day. Look, man, I got other people to talk to. I don't have anything. I don't have any problem with you. I'm just, what do you need from me? I got 12 other tables over there who are asking for my attention. What do you need?" "Oh, your service is just bad. I'm not going to leave you a tip or anything. I just can't." That's what that was.
Loose.
Mr. Ramsey, would you now take a lie detector
I
test?
would, certainly.
Would you, Mrs. Ramsey?
Yes.
I don't know when he said I would, when he did that, I'm not sure if he was ready to answer whatever question, if he was being impatient, and she kind of said whatever, and it stopped him in his tracks. So he kind of had to, internally dip and then answer that question, or if there was a deeper psychological meaning there. I'm not sure.
I would take a lie detector test.
When you realized that you two were the prime suspects, what did you think? What did you feel? What did you say?
Well, we were outraged. We were shocked. How could they think that?
Mr. Ramsey, the police officer that day, Linda
Because she was found in the house. And according to statistics,
Aunt, said on this very program that when you put your daughter's body down, you looked straight into her eyes.
His face was just inches from mine.
And Linda Aunt said she felt then from your expression that the killer was in the house and she was afraid of you.
Well, the question I would ask Linda Arndt, has she ever looked before in the eyes of a father who has just been told his 6-year-old daughter is dead, lying there on the floor in front of him? I don't know what I looked like. I'm sure I was in agony. I'm sure I went into shock. Linda Arndt's ability to look in someone's eyes and determine they were a killer is a remarkable talent.
You just can't believe it. I mean, we're suffering from having lost our child. And then for someone to accuse you, it's just, you can't believe that that would happen.
Why did they accuse you?
I think the police looked at this situation, didn't apply a lot of logic to it, and said, child murdered in the home, the book says the parents always did it. And that became the conclusion. The tragedy of the police investigation was that it ended on December 26th.
The delusion that I'm hearing right now is almost overwhelming. I might say that I'm becoming overstimulated and overwhelmed by the stupidity and the delusion that I'm hearing in John and Patsy. Couldn't be further from the truth. I think they just said, if we, for somebody who couldn't talk the day of the crime, for somebody who didn't have a lot to say when police asked for statements from Patsy, you sure have a lot to say now. For somebody who would not open up their mouth on the day of the murder to give any sort of statement, couldn't even talk to you. That's what the FBI said. You wouldn't talk to us. We tried to engage Patsy, and Patsy looked at us through her fingers and just went back to crying. couldn't say nothing. Only talk to people that you want to talk to, but you wouldn't talk to police. Only did what you wanted to do. You sure have a lot to say now. And for you to say something, oh, they didn't use a lot of logic. They used all of the logic in the world, John, because they went by the book. What the freak do you think the book was? Why? How do you think we got the book? Please, that's just 2 seconds. How do you think we got the book, John? We got the book because people actually did it. We tried to give people the benefit of the doubt, and we turn around and only to find out that people have been lying to us and they actually did commit the crime. That's how we got the book. That's how we got 70 to 93%. It's going to be the parents. What evidence do they had? You're not listening. You couldn't name one piece of evidence to refute. You said one thing. When they came in, they said there was no sign of exit or entry. No sign of break-in. Number one, that means everything must be contained inside the house. Number one. Number two, they found a pad, the ransom note pad, inside of the freaking house. How often does that happen? They found it in the house, guys. And then they found that there was a practice note, and then they took it to their examiners, and their examiners sent them back to go get writing samples from you, and they said, this kind of looks like Patsy. I'm sorry. That was the evidence. Please respond to the evidence. That's just part of it, but just please respond to that. What is the holdup?
The big questions. Why did police suspect the Ramseys? Did Patsy Ramsey snap that night and strike out at her daughter? Or did John Ramsey sexually abuse his little girl, as some think? When we come back, the possible motives for murder. Did either of you for a moment suspect each other?
The answer when 2020 continues.
When I first told friends that I was going to interview John and Patsy Ramsey, the reaction was, they're guilty. Although neither of the Ramseys has been formally charged with this crime, it seems that much of public opinion has already convicted them. Do you understand why it is that so many people still think you are guilty?
I understand that they've been told that by the media for 3 long years. I'm amazed that the whole world doesn't think we're guilty based on what they've been told.
Let me go through some of the major reasons why people feel you are guilty. The beauty pageants. If we had only seen pictures of JonBenet in little jeans and a T-shirt, there might not have been the same feeling. But what we saw in still photographs and in videos was a child dressed like an adult, very suggestive in many of these pictures, lipstick, mascara, moving around on the stage on these beauty pageants. To many people, this looks perverted.
Weird.
Therefore, there's got to be something wrong here.
There is something wrong here if someone thinks that looks perverted. JonBenet was an entertainer. She would entertain at the drop of a hat. Little girls dress up and play dress up.
You yourself had entered beauty contests.
Yes.
I'm a Virginia University.
So this was, what, fun for you both
It
to
was
have
the
to do this?
most wonderful time of my life. It's not unlike a father who enjoyed playing baseball as a child. He wants to impart that same love of the game with his son or daughter. There's just absolutely nothing wrong with it.
They called JonBenet
No logic whatsoever. There's no correlation between the two. Just because you want to play dress up doesn't negate the fact that it's perverted. What? I mean, you could play dress up as much as you want and however you want, but it could still be perverted. I don't have a problem with the pageant stuff. I wouldn't have explained it that way. I would have probably said, well, I mean, for most people, it sounds like, this is what I'm saying. It's a constant offense party for these guys. It's a constant victimhood party for these guys. They don't answer questions. Like whatever media training that they had, they don't answer questions properly. They take offense to everything. They can't see why somebody might say something at all to respond to those things. They don't have evidence or any proof, like any counter proof or counter evidence to say anything. What you could have just said was, well, I can understand, maybe this is a small thing in a lot of communities. It's not very well known. And so a lot of people are not exposed to it. But I think that once you're exposed to it and you see it, it's actually everywhere. I talked to a mom just yesterday, blah, 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 and she's doing this out in Montana. So there's a lot of people doing this. It's just not well known. It's not over the media. It's not all over the media. That's what you could have said. And I understand what people are saying, but, these are the costumes, these are the clothes. I'm sorry if people feel this way, but whatever. You didn't give us any of that. You just said, look, it's just, you guys, I did it. I don't care if you did it. And I don't know if you did it at such a young age. They're saying at such a young age, it just seems kind of out of line. But for an older young lady, who's in Dancing Dolls, maybe it's a little bit better. That's the point that they're making. For JonBenet to be so young, for her to be 3, maybe doing this kind of stuff, that might be a little suspect.
6-year-old Lolita, a pun-sized sex kitten.
The people that look at these things and see something perverted, that didn't come from JonBenet. That's coming from the viewer, not the child.
So let me go through what the motives are. Motive number 1. You are guilty, Mr. Ramsey, because there was some evidence that your daughter had been sexually molested.
I know as best I can know as a father who was with his daughter every day that I was home. She was not sexually abused or molested before December 26th.
Okay, but on December 26th, there are some indications that your daughter was sexually molested.
Well,
Therefore, here's the motive. You were doing it. Maybe you'd done it before. Maybe you just did it that night. Perhaps your wife discovered you. Whatever it was, JonBenet cried out. You killed her.
Well, that's fits right in the category of it could have been done by an alien as well. It makes no sense. There's no history. A person doesn't go throughout their lives as a normal human being, one night turn into a monster, slaughter their daughter, go to bed, and get up and act normal from there on. That doesn't happen. In these kinds of...
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. People do it every day. They do it all the time. They do it all the time. Yo, I was watching Crime Scene Investigation the other day, and there was this 96-year-old mom, right? And she got married. She had a child when she was younger, and was no longer with the child's father. And so she got remarried to another guy who also had, she had a daughter, and she got married to a guy who also had daughters. And so when, she got older, whatever, her daughter moved out to Arizona. And then his family was out in Baltimore, Maryland. And so they both got older. They both started having health challenges. And so he said, you know what, I can't take care of her on my own. She had gotten older. She started getting, I think she started getting blind, and she needed it. So her health challenges just kind of overtook her, and she was bedridden. And so he said, I need help. Let me move by my family. So he moves out to Baltimore, and he started experiencing his own health challenges. But at the time for her, she's back in her room, and they have two home health associates kind of coming in at different times. One is coming in at 8 o'clock in the morning till I think 5 o'clock in the evening. And the other one is coming in, or 4:30, and the other one is coming in, I think, at 6 or 6:30 in the evening till 6 in the morning, right? And so in the morning, there's this 2-hour gap. And I think one of the healthcare associates, the home health associates, forgot her key one day. And so the one that was leaving at 6 in the morning, she went to leave the front door open. That was the protocol. Leave the front door open. But instead of doing that one day, she forgot. And she called one of the stepdaughters of the lady and said, "Hey, you know what? I'm so sorry. I think I accidentally locked the front door. I can't get back in. And the other advocate is coming in in a couple hours. Could you just come unlock the door to make sure she gets in?" And the lady was like, "Okay." Turns out the stepdaughter went in there and killed that lady. And I said, it's probably because this older lady, she's railing on this girl, and she's getting on the stepdaughters. I was like, when I heard it, I was like, it's going to be one of the stepdaughters. That's not their mom. They don't have the same level of care for her. And that lady, she's probably in her head. She's older, so she's less patient. She didn't have time for games, and she's blind. She's bedridden. She hears people coming in and out all day long. So she's just kind of like, who's there? She can't do anything for herself. So she's a little bit on pins and needles, a little bit frustrated. You don't know how it feels to be blind and not know who's coming in. So yes, I'm going to call out, and yes, I'm going to be a little bit frustrated. I understand how it feels. Like, hey, don't take it out on me. But anyways, what had happened was, like we thought, she had got mad. She had went home and told her, the stepdaughter got mad, went home and told her boyfriend, "Oh, I just can't take it anymore. I don't know how much longer I can do this," so on and so forth. That woman, that stepdaughter, killed that lady and went to the bank like it was nothing. People do that. Man, what's that man's name? I think it's Chris. Man, it's been so long. But anyways, you guys know who I'm talking about. Chris with his wife, Shanann, I think her name was. His wife, the man put his wife and kids in like boilers or something like that and walked the freak away and talked to police and acted like nothing was wrong. Yeah, I hope they come back. Please come back. They do it every day, John. We saw John do this in the interview with the inappropriate behavior. I don't know why you're so gung-ho to try to refute what the autopsy says about it. It happened. Why don't you respond to that? Because you got in the interview in 1997 or 98. It was like, nah, that would never happen. It did. It did happen. Respond to that. Stop acting like the evidence is not there. It's medically diagnosed. My goodness, you know what? I need to calm down. You know what? I appreciate you for watching. I appreciate you for taking your time. We're going to pick this up. Stick with me. We're going to pick this up. We're going to keep on going. I'm going to take a quick break and I'm going to get back to it. Until then, check you later.